Welcome to Elevated Wisdom, where we transcend and go beyond the subconscious.
We live. What's happening, everybody? Welcome to episode number 6 already. How you doing, Namad? All up in the camera right now, huh? What's going on, Playboy? How you doing today?
I'm good, man. Good.
Good stuff. Good stuff. What I know we have been gone quite a bit since the last time we had since the last episode. What you been up to?
Um, you know, just enjoying life.
Where?
You know, enjoying life.
So I definitely
Trying to
hear
get this camera
myself.
straight.
There's like a delay, and I'm hearing the reverb. Just if I
I know, I hear it too. It's always something, man.
word. Okay. It's just maybe muting any like whatever you're listening to, whether that's the Discord or the actual channel. You know, bringing that volume down itself. But anyways, so yeah, man, it's been interesting as far as for me the last bit. We have been I haven't been streaming the last, I would say, maybe week now. It's been about, and been dealing with some personal things that most of us deal with, and that is the emotional, roller coasters and the ups and downs of daily living, and for me is the overwork of my head, my brain, the thoughts constantly going of this and that and the what ifs and that stuff that keeps me up at night. That really can get to me sometimes where I just need to hide, or I need to just take a break and recoup, and it kind of humbles me because every time I feel like I'm flying high and everything's going great, things feel like, I just the 1-2 punch from life. It really brings me back down, and realizing that it is tough living with certain things, and certain decisions that lead to negative outcomes still part of me. And just because we can't see you, brother, just because
I'm getting it. I'm getting it.
um, just because I've no idea. I just lost my train of thought with that. Um, I have no idea what that train of thought went, but it is what it is. We let it go and we keep on pushing forward. The last week has been rough, but I am human, and that is part of why I talk about the things that I talk about and do the things that I'm doing, because it's real, right? And I'm not seeking perfection. I'm seeking more of consistency in my life of healthy things so I can have a better day to day human experience. And lately it's been tough, but not at all bad, right? I still have great friends around me that I've been able to do things with, game with. Big shout out to Snip and a bunch of other streamers that have come through and, hung out with your boy Dirk Alert, Artisan, just a lot of them that have kept me going mentally, even if it's just a video game or hanging out. And yourself, Ahmad, our conversations keep me pushing all the time as well. And with that, not feeling bad for taking time to just be, right? I don't have to be on the grind. I don't have to be, a full throttle 24 fucking 7. I can take some time. I can relax and be content with not doing a single thing. And sometimes I forget how to enjoy life without being on the go or having to talk to somebody or having to do something per se. And that, I still struggle with that, but that's kind of what I've been at for the last, I would say, week. And here I am, man. And now I'm trying to continue the healthy choices. So I've been hanging out with family, did some meal prepping, the things that I can get done, cutting up like vegetables, having vegetables for snacks, things like that. So a big thing that I'm working on is my physical health as well. So that includes of what I'm putting in my body. It's not going out, not eating Dunkin' Donuts, and actually looking at going to the markets and looking at organic vegetables, and instead when I'm when a snack, grab some celery and or some carrots, some apples, yogurt, something healthier other than that nastiness that I've been continuously go back to because it's so goddamn good. And yeah, but that's kind of
So,
where I was going with elaborating. Maybe now that I've elaborated on what's my week been going on, what about you?
well, no, I was gonna ask you what emotion or what triggered you to feel how you feel, like to get in the mood you've been in for the week. Like what?
What do you mean? What emotion triggered me to
Yeah,
get
like
into
what
that?
what event happened? Because remember, our emotions dictate how we see reality, right? And if we have an emotion that we're used to, it's usually something that triggers that emotion to where we get back to feeling in that space. So, was there something that happened or something that was said or just how did you feel a similar way like, oh, well, I felt this way before, so this your subconsciously your body's going to react and act this way because it's so used to.
So it's been so far that there is multiple things, right? There isn't just one thing. I'm sure that if I go back in time, I can pinpoint to one specific event that snowballed. But like, to appease the question, um, some things that did happen that assisted in maintaining myself in a lower vibration of choosing not to do things or feeling, having negative thoughts and emotions, was being having to deal with chronic pain, right? Being in so much pain that you don't, I don't even want to get out of bed to go to use the bathroom, right? And having that in the forefront of my consciousness can be difficult to see the positive and listen to music and all the things that I do to normally get me out of, saying a bad mood, extreme pain it's harder for me to get out of that and can lead into something because they once I spend a full day recuperating or laying in bed, whatever you want to call it, then it snowballs from there because I'm not doing anything but living in my mind, and that can get very dangerous at times if I'm not careful. So, yeah, it definitely a snowball effect. But that is something. Another thing is my inconsistency. Right, I there's certain things that I still struggle with being consistent on, and when I miss a day of doing this or doing that, or things that I plan on doing, and miss the things, I'm very quick to not forgive myself, to give myself that cushion that I give other people. That understanding that I have for others. I am very short with myself, and so that had part of it, and a few other things. But yeah, that's kind of the long, short answer to your question.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, we have two options. You can stay in bed and we get you a catheter,
yeah,
or you can take that time and forgive yourself and know that, I mean, it's to be consistent 100% of the times would be perfection, which we
mm-hmm.
know is that illusion that
Indeed.
we're just not gonna do it as much as we would like, And I know you know that, but it's just allowing yourself to be like, it's okay, I missed today, but tomorrow's that new day, I
Mm-hmm.
have another day. Because that's really what it is. Every day is a new day. But what happened in the past is already done, and we know there really isn't a future. There's only the now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So every time you're in that position again, you have the opportunity to rectify what you believe you didn't do or what you could do different.
Yeah.
Every day we have that new opportunity to do it, and the game is always us versus us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's really what it is. So the sooner you realize, like, there's no need to be down on yourself. You needed the rest, or it's okay if your bones hurt.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to be frustrated because I know you really are trying to stick to those changes and be a part of what we are talking about,
Mm-hmm.
by that action. But every day you have a new day to start that consistency,
Mm-hmm.
and if you look at just I will be consistent and not worrying about because you already missed that. That day is gone. So the new day is where the consistency starts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that would be what I'd be trying to tell you is like focus on that day and that moment what you can do for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because yesterday, the day before is irrelevant to what is now.
So here's the question, right? How do you relate to that, and what do you tell yourself?
Um,
Right.
because I've been reading like I do at least. I try to do a chapter. So whether it's 15 minutes or 30 minutes of reading a day,
Mm-hmm.
um, if I miss it in the morning, because I try and do that first. So my routine is I wake up, I'll read, because that's the most challenging for me. So I want to do that first, the reading part. Once that's done, then I do my affirmations. Then I do, my little side crunch, my workout stuff, drink my water, and then I'm trying to help and get the kids ready and everything. So if I sleep in and next thing you know, I'm helping the kids get ready and I didn't do that, I
Mm-hmm.
know how you feel because I feel that way. It throws my whole day off. Like
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm missing something or I haven't done something. So what I try and do is just tell myself it's okay. I'll try the affirmation in the afternoon. Um, I'll do my side crunch once I get them done. And at the end of the day, if I have the energy, I'll read. If not, I'll just be like, hey, if it's a long chapter, I'll finish the 30, 40 pages.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a small one, I can just read it tomorrow and it's not a big deal. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I feel it throws your day off, but I know like I can still do stuff throughout the day. I
Yeah.
just have to have the intention to do it.
Most definitely.
And that's the biggest thing. And sometimes I don't do as many as I would like for my side crunch, or I won't be as consistent throughout the day with the affirmations. Another thing I started trying to do since Saturday, because I watched the video, was 15 minutes a day of gratitude.
Mm.
So it's just 5 minutes when you wake up, 5 minutes, whatever, and then 5 minutes before you go to bed. And that one's kind of challenging, man, because I start with gratitude and my mind will wander of how I feel about it and the next steps of what I want to do with this. So then I have to get myself back and be like, hold up, for the last 2 minutes, I haven't even been on gratitude. I've been somewhere else. So
Mm.
it's challenging, but at the same time, it is making me aware of the running thoughts I have, and it's also bringing me, allowing me to come back to that gratitude and be grateful for what I actually started with thinking about.
Yeah.
So it's just not being black or white, but being fluid with what the day is gonna allow you to do. If you
Mm.
have a few minutes, then you could, do whatever that routine was, and throughout the day, if it's important to you, you just make time for it. That's
Yeah.
the biggest thing. You got to make time for what it is you want to take care of. So
Mm. Now I can definitely, um, I can relate as far as being able to, being able to stay fluid throughout the day, and if missed, the consistency is the next day that you didn't miss because it hasn't happened yet. The next day you have the power to stop that inconsistency, and that's being at the very least that's being consistent on staying on top of when you're being inconsistent, right? And that for me, I can it definitely boosts, for me it boosts me up. The other thing I can relate with is the gratitude aspect of things that you're talking about, right? When I was in Japan this last time, I went to a temple where they had these beads, and I've always wanted to get the monk praying beads. I always wanted one of those, the long ones that I could hang around my neck. And instead, I was able to get these, smaller ones, but I hang it around my neck a lot. And everybody asks me now. Recently, have been asking me like, "Hey, are you, do you practice Buddhism, or what's going on with these beads?" And I say, these are my gratitude beads. Every time I feel anxious, every time I feel sad, every time I feel angry, anytime I feel any negative sort of feeling, I have this near me that I can sit here and I can count all the blessings in my life, all the things that I'm grateful for. And I'll sit there and, go one by one. And I start with myself. I have my eyesight still may not be the best, but I have both of my eyes, and I have this, and I once I'm finished with everything that I'm grateful for about myself, I move on to the things around me, and then the things that, the next layer, and then on the next layer, and before I know it, there that all those feelings, they do not stand a chance against gratitude. And so I definitely can relate to that, man. It's a powerful thing for sure.
no, it is, man. It definitely is.
Yeah. The other thing that I've been doing is I've been practicing the book, and both books. I've been working on the Elevated Wisdom and the Transcend. The Elevated Wisdom has been helping, especially in this time that I've been telling you. So, you know, we talked about what got me into that place, what is getting me out, is what we're talking about now, and part of what got me out, or was, kept me from getting in even further into a depressive state, or anything dark like that. The books, again, the elevated wisdom, reading, not every single quote hit me, but there was always at least one that hit me beyond, you know what I'm saying? That really, I had to sit with it for a few minutes. The space between the quotes, I wasn't sure how I wanted to get my own 2 cents into it. But what I started doing is, because it is the quotes and the positive affirmations are closely in the book, what I started doing is taking the quotes that really hit me and make them in one way or some way a positive affirmation for myself. And it's been really something different, to where now, on the kind of, afterthoughts, I can sit back and think about, how am I placing this? What is this quote meant to me? And what kind of positive affirmation can I make out of what I've just learned? And that, for me, in the mornings, has been motivating, and in the evenings, very relaxing. If I take just 15 to 30 minutes a day, both either in the morning or in the evening, or both, it's very hard to stay, even if I'm not moving, even if I'm not the most productive. It's very hard to stay negative. And the transcend, man, it's I started, I did my oath to myself. I have you as my witness. And I got to the first part, and I see why people may have a little hard time from the get-go. It's a hard truth that I am forced to face, right? What I'm able, what I'm capable of, what are my barriers, and what are the obstacles that I really need assistance with, right? And both the things that I may need assistance with and the things that I'm able were very shocking to me, and I'm still thinking of more and working it. And I was getting on myself because I wanted to get it done quick, but this is not something that needs to be timed or raced through or anything like that. It's definitely at your own pace, and how you do it is what you're gonna get out of it. So for me, I'm taking my time with it. The last few days I've been very consistent, and the last two, I because of my headspace, I did not fail in. But like you said, enough inconsistency tomorrow. And shit, after this, before I go to sleep, I'm gonna get on that journal and reading some of my book.
All it is, man, is just correcting that, we can change it at any point.
That's it.
Now, what I was going to tell you too, remember, it doesn't have to be right, doesn't have to be so profound. What you're looking for is honesty.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, when doing that first part, it's just being honest with yourself, and it could be simple things, but you can do that, as many times as you want. It's just the first one. You just want to do it, and be able to answer those questions honestly. It doesn't have to be in depth. You just want to answer them.
Mm.
I think a lot of times we're through those questions, we're trying to find all the answers, and we want it to be life changing. But that book is almost in essence like life itself is a process, and the more you do it, you're finding more about yourself through that process.
Mm.
And that's why I would say, just continue to work at it and just look for honesty. It doesn't even matter if it's like something simple, what is a barrier? It could just be fear,
Mm.
fear of not being consistent, or consistency could be something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's funny because a lot of times we think these answers are so complex when in reality they're simple answers. They're
Mm.
always right there in front of us. So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, man.
Just kind of what I've realized and found out about myself.
I really
Um,
do. It hits different when you relate by with examples of how you go through it and experience it and how you work yourself out. You know what I mean? Um, it's I don't know if it's just me or there are more people like me, although may not be talking to me. Sometimes the way we are communicating, I can feel like it's directed, like almost like an instruction rather than a conversation. And that's why for me, I really enjoy when you relate with examples of how you go through it, like, and with that, because it brings it back rather than a an advice delivery. It's a sharing commonality, and through what you do is the advice that I pick up easier, if that makes sense. Right. So no, I do appreciate you explaining, going through it.
I think it makes sense, but also what's nice is like I'm not the only one. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
for
Like
sure.
and I think most of us we're all struggling with the same thing, and that is to understand ourselves.
Mm.
Understanding ourselves and understanding where we exist within the society that we're actually in.
Yeah.
Where do I fit in? How do I live honest honestly with myself and have a fulfilling life, but adhering to certain social structures and laws and guidelines.
Mm.
I think it's a question a lot of us are trying to figure out and answer, and it's gonna take time.
Mm.
But I think the best step and the best thing you can do for yourself is start being honest with yourself.
Yeah.
You know, none of us want to hear what we're lacking in and what we need to do better, but in reality, that is what we need to hear. And once we hear it, be aware of it. Now we have to accept it, and from there we can now have that action to
Mm.
improve on the consistency, to improve on how we accept the criticism, and then and improve on our own mindset, to achieve the things that we want to achieve.
I agree.
That's why I said I just think a lot of things now. I look at things more as just processes. No failures, no disappointments, and it's more just processes of understanding, and it's okay with how that process went, came about. It's okay I didn't know everything. It's okay I didn't finish this.
Mm.
You know, it was my first time trying it. What am I supposed to be, an expert?
Yeah.
I can't remember the quote, but Einstein said something about no one will know how to do anything for the first time. It's just, and I think a lot of us want to be perfect no matter what we're doing,
Mm.
regardless if it's our first, our 21st, we want excellent results when in reality, we're not always going to get them. And if we're not, practicing and our intention isn't to be great at that, why would we expect anything different if we haven't put any time, effort, or even the imagination, the belief in ourselves that we will do good at it?
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, these are all just it's beautiful times, man. Processes to understand, ourselves, man, and how can we exist with ourselves, and then from there, how can we exist with other people? Yeah.
That's it. That is it, my brother. And on that note, hydrate, my folks. Hydrate. I like what you got there. Yeah, what is that?
I got my copper flask right here, all
Copper
copper.
flask. Got my old plastic and God knows what else. What does
Yeah,
the
you
copper do?
gotta get rid of that plastic, baby.
What does that copper do?
You know, I wish I had like all the benefits. The main thing is copper is great for us as far as human beings. We are electromagnetic, right? We get energy from the ether and we discharge it typically through our feet. Um, Copper is a good conductive of electricity. That's why when you look at most electrical ports, lights, there's copper wiring. So one, it keeps the water at a good state for when we drink it. It helps hydrate you better by having copper on you. Your blood flow is better. It just brings a little more energy to you. And there's so many more benefits. I just don't have them like in my head right
Yeah,
now. And I
yeah.
would have to
I didn't think you were a freaking
start them off
doctor
better.
in the subject matter, but no, I definitely that's what actually what I wanted to know. Does it do something for the water? Is it actually, you know what I mean, filtering it, or is it making it taste better? Like, what is it doing for you? And it sounds like it's a lot of great health benefits, and I do agree with that. I was looking at a video in growing your garden, and this the farmer basically put copper wiring that down to from the soil up to the it was like maybe a foot or so over the plants, and the plants grew amazingly and much better. And so I definitely do agree that as organisms here, we do vibrate to a specific place where copper has a lot of benefits for us. So that's pretty dope, man. I gotta get myself some of those. I know that for me, I like that's why I like the copper like necklaces and stuff like that. You know how they the little gems and whatnot that they wrap it on. Those are
It's,
pretty dope.
it's supposed to keep the electromagnetic flow throughout their body. Because
Mm,
we're alkaline. That's why if you watch Dr. Sebi or learn anything about him,
yeah.
the alkaline diet is what is best for us. And to
Mm,
cut out certain foods, because that will maximize the energy. The body is built to cure itself. We don't need medicine. We just need to know what herbs to take and what food to eat.
yeah.
And our body will do everything else for us.
True.
So it's all interesting, man. And that would be another step of what I do want to learn is to better understand the physiology of the human body. Because I think
Mm,
that's something we really don't know too much about.
mm,
You know, we don't know what certain organs completely do this. I don't, at least. I don't know what foods will benefit the kidney or flush out the liver or I hear things here and there, but I haven't really went in and studied it and understood and took notes and fully invested and changed the diet. But I'm getting there. That's another thing. I'm slowly getting there with looking at all those things and understanding how amazing the body is.
mm,
It is the ultimate machine.
yeah. It much
It's
definitely
just we
is.
We just haven't had a good manual on how to properly take care of it. That's been the thing. It's all the knowledge has been kind of kept away and hidden from us to actually use it. So
Well, how many mass book burnings have there been in history?
no, you're right,
Some
and
stuff
you're
had to
right.
been lost,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
at least just hidden. You know.
No, you're right.
Yeah, yeah. But that's at least the beautiful thing about nature, though, is that eventually we go back. Everything kind of goes back into its natural thing, and all these unnatural things that we're putting our bodies through. There are those that are awakening, and they're look kind of like yourself, like what you're just describing, not just hearing it from somebody, doing the research and learning how is it doing, and doing that, taking the time to really understand what does it mean to live in harmony with our natural surroundings. And because when we do that, we can easily heal from a lot of these things that right now are taking us apart, just like, for example, diabetes alone, right? Like this epidemic of all these big major diseases. A lot of it has to do with, when you break it down, sugars, and everything in our diets has sugars. The carbs is crazy, and now that I'm seeing that and understanding that, and getting the blood work, and noticing how my body reacts to when I'm eating healthy versus when I'm stuffing my face at a fast food place. It's a big difference. It's a big difference all around, and more importantly, long term, it's a huge difference, right? Because I when I stay and do healthy things just get better, and I get better and faster, and you know what I'm saying, all these other things, and then the same with the other. And then that puts me in a worse physical state, which then puts me in a worse emotional state, and then that brings it wrong a bad mental, the thought patterns, and that's the turmoil that we live in. Before I knew it, before it almost felt like a blink of an eye, but it took a decade to get there. I was over 350 pounds, man. And now realizing the changes that I've made, and going to the doctor and being weighed at 213, 215, I could not believe it. I did not want to believe it. There was like, this impossible. Something had to have been broken with that machine, because how did I get there? It felt, what I'm saying, when I look down, I still see the same thing that I saw when I was 350 pounds. When I look in the mirror, I still see that same person, but that is the blurriness that it is my vision when it comes to myself. And the more and more I continue to do these healthy things that we are talking about, that fuzziness is starting to disappear, which is amazing and beautiful thing. But it's tough. It really is. It's not easy,
Right.
and I'm happy to have a good company that I do, like yourself, and because although it's tough, I'm able to do it with a smile on my face, and that's something I learned in the military, right? Like, embrace the suck, and if I can look at the person next to me and they're smiling and we both smiling, the suck gets just a little bit better. You know what I mean? And you get through it. And so I'm very thankful to have you, my brother, because you
You
keep me
end up
honest.
just getting the tip.
Say again.
So you just end up getting the tip. It's
Well,
all the people.
that may be the army. I don't know. The navy, you get the whole thing, though. they they don't, you know what I'm saying? They don't play around over there. You gets it. You gets it.
Yeah. And anybody that got name tags on the cheeks kind of make you think. But yeah,
Yeah. Life is a beautiful
yeah,
thing.
man. No, but it's it's crazy when you say that because it's like with the food alone, you're I, like it's almost like you lose your senses or sense of self
Mm.
and understanding of what you need to be doing and why you're here.
Yeah.
And you know, that's why I know like shit was done on purpose. Strategically, things have been put in play to keep people more occupied on everything else but themselves.
Mm.
Because the moment you wake up and you're aware and you want to change and make changes, you start really seeing what's going on. You really start understanding, like, man, was I really that lost? Was I really that asleep?
Yeah.
Was I not aware of what really was going on? And no, you're not, because you're just so used to how shit actually is. Eating garbage, sitting and wasting days binging on Netflix
Mm-hmm.
and I don't even want to go into the other matter, chasing cheeks.
Oh
That shit is for the birds too, man.
man.
Like, like so much money and time and energy was wasted on an activity that don't bring you shit. It just drains you,
Yeah.
you know. So
Metal
yeah.
Savior is asking. By the way, big shout out Metal Savior. How you doing, brother? He's asking any religion into this. What about you? For I'll answer after you.
For me, I don't. The two that I was interested in looking at was obviously Buddhism and Rastafarianism. But overall, for me, it's just the understanding that we're all a part of the source, the God source. Individually, we are an extension of him or her, however you want to see it. And my number one thing is, we should be treating each other kindly, with some compassion, empathy, not hurting. We should be treating nature the same way. We should be respecting one another. So for me, that's kind of what I go by. So I don't know if that answers the question
Mm.
that he was looking for or she was looking for, but that's where I'm at.
He said that should be common sense. Which yeah, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised who really don't have that. As far as for me though, Metal Savior, I think that I don't personally follow any one organized religion. I don't proclaim to be one, over another or anything like that. I do take the knowledge that they all speak about, especially when it comes to healing, self love, self understanding, and just overall positivity. And with that, I've taken bits and pieces from different, religions per se, or I don't know what is another word for them, but that now helps me understand my experience a little better, right? And so everything that I talk about is influenced by those things. Just earlier, I was talking about having Buddhism prayer beads, right? I have those. I don't use them perhaps exactly like the Buddhist does. I use them as my gratitude beads. And it's similar but a little different, right? So it's like that. Everything for me that I speak about and now do and participate in um, have a little bit of religion, but a whole lot of spirituality because I do believe in the spirit and that vibration. And with that, belief has a lot to do with changing our perception in life, changing our realities, changing our whatever it is that we're trying to do in life, becoming the thing that we want to do has to come with belief, in my opinion. Without that belief, most of the stuff won't, actually come into reality. And so that's kind of my 2 cents. I hope that also answers, your question in another way. Not hurting each other. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
we're more into spirituality than the
Spirituality.
actual
Indeed.
constructs of what a religion is. Because
Exactly.
I think the actual version of how religion and the churches were kind of constructed, I think, is similar to government.
Mm.
So, you know,
Oh, yeah, that could be another rabbit hole of conversation, but
yeah, that's why I
yes,
was like, I try to stay away from those topics because
indeed. Like all I'm gonna say is to relate the 2 points that you were just making. In my opinion, religion was the first way to govern. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that made sense, but yeah. So,
he said that was good. However you answered, believe.
word. You dropped the mic there. Let's go. I appreciate that, Metal Savior. We out here doing what we do best, man. And I think, that Ahmad and ourselves and myself now is just being, speaking, not judging so much before I allow these words to come out. Because before I didn't want to say anything, I don't want to say it the wrong way, I'm going to offend somebody, I'm going to all these different things just kept me from doing anything, and then I felt unheard. And now I'm speaking my truth, and if anybody hears it, boom, you might feel like it's a mic drop. So all the motherfuckers might be like, "Man, that was the dumbest shit I've ever heard." At the end of the day, it's still my truth, and I appreciate everybody for partaking in the experience. But your opinions is your opinions at the end of the day. So,
That's good. That's the biggest thing to speak your truth, and not worry. Be concerned what the rebuttal will be, because
mm,
again, how I was, what I'm saying is how I see it, and that's my version of reality. How you would take it and accept it would be yours.
yeah,
9 times out of 10, if someone has a problem, usually that problem is something within them. It has nothing to do with me and the answer that I provided.
that's a good point. He says, because it's all about finding yourself with other people that have the understanding without a quote unquote God. If you believe in yourself, you should be able to take on the world, and you're 100%. We are, and that's how most you see any interview out there, actor, sports, anybody, right? They always have that story of a lot of people didn't believe in them, but they believed in themselves. They knew that they were going to be a champion. They knew that they were going to win that award. They knew that they were going to have that dream job. They knew they were going to be the first pilot. They knew they were, in their hearts, they knew, and they made it happen. You're unstoppable. And I believe that that is, in my opinion, what the word God represents. That power that if you believe in yourself, you can self actualize anything and create the human experience that you truly want to experience in this life.
If you've ever read or heard of Neville Goddard, and
Mm.
he talks about imagination, and basically imagination, he speaks of the God within us.
Mm-hmm.
Our imagination is an extension of that, and what we imagine. And if you understand the universal laws and everything else that comes with it, synchronicities and everything, eh, as long as you're on the same frequency and you do have that belief in your imagination that it has already happened and you are who you believe you are, it is so that it will happen. Like
Mm.
the universe cannot tell you no. That's one of the keys in there. So if you have it, Neville Goddard, he's a good person to look up, and a big thing he has on. He talks about imagination and the God within, and we are that part of. an extension of that source, you know?
Heck yeah. I
So,
do believe I need to check that out because I am a firm believer in that as well. And it's when you were saying that, it reminded me of a time where, for me, a friend of mine was like, I love to go gambling, right? I love to go to the casino because I always win. I always win, and she always ends up winning. And then I'm like, no, I don't like to go to the casino because every time I go, I lose. And I'm tired of losing and I'm not going to lose anymore because every time I go, I lose, right? And she goes, that's your mistake right there. You going to the casino thinking that you're going to lose, and no matter what happens, even if you win, at the end of the day you're gonna lose because you're already believing in that. You will make it into the fact that you will create it. You're gonna lose somehow or another. You're gonna lose. And I was like, oof. And it's in reality, yeah.
what was her relationship with money?
And that's also interesting, is that it's one of those. She has a very fluid relationship where there is times of abundance and there's times of not so abundance, and depending on how that wave is, it doesn't shift who she is, doesn't shift how she acts with people, how generous she is, how she smiles, how she carries herself. That doesn't veer, you know what I mean? And when she's got it, she spends it and she helps, and when she don't got it, she knows that things will actualize, and things actualize for her, and that is very powerful. And that is somebody that's why I keep around me, because I value that action. That action is the best reminder for me of the things that I need to be doing. Because everybody can talk, everybody can have something to say, but when you see somebody doing it, it hits different, man. It really hits different, right? It gives
Know
me.
why?
Say again.
You know why it hits different?
Why?
Oh, you was about to explain.
Well, I guess for me, the reason
'Cause
why it hits different, it would be because it gives me the thought, if they can do it, I can do it. Seeing it done is the it gives me more evidence that it's the
possible.
probability. Yeah, there it is. The possibility is there, and you know I am capable. And so if the possibility is there and I'm capable, well then one and one is gonna make it two, and that is a valuable thing to remember, but very easily forgotten. Very easily forgotten, man. And that's something that I continue to struggle but work through. And it having people like yourself in my corner is uh, what helps me remember that. Because even when I catch myself, you catch me when, to, I'll joking around and boom, I'll throw something negative about myself, even though it's along lines the joking around. But it's like, why am I talking negative about myself? Why do I have to throw myself underneath like that? So those accountability checks, the conversations of possibility, but more the conversations of positivity. It's very rare that we have conversations that is just about negative shit, right? There's rarely a conversation that is just about quote unquote complaining about shit. When we vent, we talk about solutions after that. We talk about what we've learned. We talk about what we need to learn or what actions to take, right? But there's always something positive that it ends on. And that for me is the type of conversations and relationships that I want to grow with the people that are close to me, right? And so those are the boundaries that I'm setting for myself and placing for the people that want to call themselves my friend. But, yeah,
Those are great boundaries, man, to establish
they're
for
tough.
sure.
They're tough to
It
keep.
is tough. It's tough because if you've never done them, once you start, people look at you crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, what's your problem? Nothing. I just understand the value now, and I actually know that I'm realizing I don't have to partake in the shenanigans,
Yeah.
the fuckery. I don't have to be part of it. You know what I'm saying? So that's the cool thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to what you said, the reason you see is because now it's possible. And if it's possible, I believe,
Yeah.
and I understand because I'm the same way, like gambling, I don't do it. I just don't see the value in it,
Yeah.
you know.
Not
But
me
it is
either.
also comes back to like the pertaining of my relationship with money.
Hmm.
And a lot of times I see it as thrown away. Therefore, if I'm throwing it away, I'm in lack of. I'm not in abundance. I'm in lack.
Mm.
And now I got a fistful of dollars like Scrooge McDuck. Even though I have it abundantly around me, my mindset is lacking. Therefore, I can't have as much as I probably should have
Mm.
because of my relationship with how I view money.
Yeah.
So
That
that's another area I'm trying to slowly work on, man.
I can relate to that.
You know,
That's my anxiety that comes from um, gambling. Like you know how people just like $2,000, blah 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 whatever. That to me is like oh my god, my heart rate because I'm in my mind I'm throwing it away. That's 2,000. That's you know what I mean. And like you said, it may be abundant around me, but that's a whole lot to be just putting it out there. And that creates the anxiety that keeps me at a level of, you know, just for me anger. And then that spews out to the people around me and the world around me, which is never good.
but that 2,000, we both know in reality, 2,000, that's like $2, right? It really ain't shit.
Yeah.
But if I'm already thinking of it in that manner in gambling, how am I now going to think about it when I need to invest or when I need
Mm.
to look at trying to get property?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now you're really like, oh, how am I going to do this? How much is it going to take? And my always thought process was, what if I can't, I get into it, but I can't continue to pay?
Mm.
And it's like, why would that even come in your brain?
Yeah.
The fact that you wouldn't have to pay for it or that you can't do this or that. Like, why does it? That's why you're not taking advantage of opportunities that you get. That's why you're not seeing or living the way that you want to live
Mm-hmm.
because that fear. You're timid.
Yeah.
You know, it's that fear of,
Yeah.
what's the worst thing if I couldn't pay for
See, fear for me translates to anger or forms into anger for me. That's how I express my fear is anger.
it?
A lot of other ones as well, but yeah,
Yeah, yeah, fear. Fear is
it
that was mine.
it's a crippling one.
That man it kept me in a straitjacket, bruh. Fear had me in a fucking straitjacket.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
I remember coming growing up without shoes, mountains, lakes, houses made out of the mud bricks. Like the fears that I have now are I don't understand how they when and where I picked them up. Like how did I pick them up? I can't I have to have the nice shoes with the nice soles and this and that. Like you know what I mean?
Oh man, cool.
Craziness, man, craziness. We gotta worry about this and that and so much,
Yeah.
everything, and that's another reason why I can't watch a lot of just network TV. You know what I mean? The news and stuff like that, because that's all it is constant panic, constant worry, constant. The vibrations is just so low. I can't do it anymore. You know that's all I would look at, and that's all where I stayed at. Like, it makes total sense now why I was so depressed. Because all I would look at, all I sometimes look at, is all the bad shit. How can you not be feeling depressed if all you're paying attention is all the negative shit? And I'm
Yeah.
finally like taking my face off that and be like, look, there's other positive things here. Focus on that, even if it's just one for now. And like flowers or grass and everything else, where you find one, before you know it, more is gonna start sprouting up if you just focus. That's a beautiful thing, man.
It's
That
like the mushrooms.
That's a whole
It's
nother
sprouting up.
experience. We gotta we gotta take it down to the ceremonial ayahuasca experience.
Yeah, I wish I would have been able to do it that time, man.
It's still going, man. It will always be available. You know what I mean? And when we get now that we're even much better place in our lives, is everything comes at its time. When it's time to happen, it will happen, my friend. And that's the beautiful thing about it too. Yes, sir.
Where we at time? I think we
Man,
almost.
yeah, we in the hour. We hit the hour, and so I was about to see if there was anything in your mind you wanted to touch on or hit up.
It's almost 1:30 in the morning.
Ooh, but that's what I'm talking
I'm over
about.
here.
Falling up, falling asleep. Ah. But no, I appreciate your time. I appreciate your wisdom. I truly appreciate you bringing a positive and understanding atmosphere to this conversation. Uh, Thank you for not speaking down to me and allowing me to express myself. This is always a great experience for me, and always a learning experience for me. So thank you, sir. I appreciate you.
It's a constant understanding, man. Because crazy point, man. We are a reflection of each other,
Mm,
and most of us are. If we take the time to look, we all pretty much have similar fears, similar quirks, anxieties about ourselves, complexes, and again, like I said, I just think the journey itself is understanding and accepting who we are.
mm,
That will always be the challenge. We're always going to change some, and we're always striving to find that higher self.
yeah,
You know, so
for sure, my boy.
yeah. So we just keep pushing, man. That's all we can do. And just know every day is a new slate, man.
Yeah,
It's a new slate.
that is true.
You know?
Every day is a new time to succeed again.
Yeah. There's only one time.
Yeah,
It is the present. So
I love it. Dang. Well, Mel Savior, thank you so much for being here, coming through the chat and participating. We are welcoming more people to feel free to ask questions, give your 2 cents and participate in our conversations and evolve or transcend this experience as well for us. So, Metal Savior, thank you for coming through. And we'll see you in the next one. It's Marth again, always coming through and showing love. Thank you guys. And if there's nothing else, my good boy, I think this will be it for us. You good to go?
yeah, just again, if you're new or you came out, check out at Manan Affiliates for the YouTube channel. And again, we have positive messages, quotes, in-depth things, and things to help you brighten your day, maybe understand yourself a little better. And yeah, just stop by, check out the content we got.
Yes, sir. Definitely make your day better. That is for sure. All right, guys, you have a wonderful day. Good evening, everybody. Peace out.
Thank you for joining us and have a good night. Lead with love, take time to laugh, and never stop learning. Thank you for joining us and have a good night. Lead with love, take time to laugh, and never stop learning.